The Republic and Canton of Geneva shield and flag contains the Society of Jesus Jesuit logo with IHS directly upon it. It's the same logo that Pope Francis uses on his shield as a Jesuit pope. The first flag at CERN leading all nations was the Geneva IHS flag. It is proposed that CERN changed the weight of an electron, and/or influenced the Higgs boson, which may be causing Mandela effects. The new future circular collider might cause exponential Mandela effects due to the Lorentz equation's nonlinearity. Such ability to change things, even the history of the world, would be reason to need such sovereignty, especially if when weaponized and used against humanity. In an article, NSA concerned, CERN's data the only ones they cannot make sense of, from February 4, 2014, the U.S. NSA National Security Agency called CERN data, UNINTELLIGABLE. CERN was the scientific institution trying to control the science franchise on the planet and the manager of the dead holographic Earth for the Vatican. They coordinate with hundreds of particle accelerators globally to conduct experiments. What kinds of experiments are conducted across the planet from CERN? CERN is doing a lot more than they are telling us about. CERN would be a fifth sovereign city-state, where they are mostly underground. Switzerland and Geneva. Switzerland and the Vatican City are the only countries with square flags. Switzerland is home of most international organizational bodies because Switzerland is a country of independent republic city-states. It has the highest per capita income in the world and productivity, and lowest crime rates. Everywhere else abuses legal presences to impose itself with the detriment of slavery and war. Switzerland didn't join the UN until 2002 to be able to retain their independence. Switzerland contains the Central Bank of Central Banks, the Bank for International Settlements. They also have the Federal Intelligence Service, FIS. It is the secret agency of secret agencies, and they have a hand in 9/11. An error occurred. Can it cure JavaScript? Geneva seems to be controlled by Jesuits, just like the Vatican in 2017 by Jesuit Pope Francis. Geneva could be considered an equal to the Crown Corporation and the Vatican for the sovereign nature. Switzerland controls the Republic franchise in many regards. Monaco. The Monaco flag. The Phoenicians, the inventors of the sigil alphabet, phonetics, colonized Monaco around the 6th century. It remained a sovereign principality with a few brief hiccups. Mainly, Monaco was briefly occupied by Napoleon, Hitler, and Mussolini but returned. Monaco's sovereignty was recognized by the Franco-Monegasque Treaty of 1861 and gained UN voting rights in 1993. To be able to join, Monaco had to enter bankruptcy. They have some protection from France's military from greater threats, though they also have their own units. Monaco did very well with the casinos, and removed taxation in full. In the United States, voting areas are called districts because it is a military term of occupation. In Monaco, territorial areas are called wards to be able to apply legal presence as a bankrupt nation city-state. This makes all of Monaco into a prison. Monaco was mostly recognized by the UN and member nations. When they joined the UN, they received full personhood benefits and recognition. A product of Monaco's bankruptcy is that Monaco citizens can only have resident prisoner status for 3 years in the territorial wards. Citizens are wards of the state and thus legally incompetent as per required by the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All the major banks, e.g. Rothschilds, HSBC, have branches in Monaco, thus making the banks sovereign. Such sovereignty allows the banks to even commit murder and get away with it. Singapore. Singapore has its own sovereignty yet is a member of the Commonwealth of Nations run by the UK Crown corporations. Singaporeans are subject to United Nations human slavery legalization via the Crown Corporation. While it is a sovereign city-state, it was simply treated as such by the powers that were on behalf of the monarch. Singapore is a republic acting as a global financial powerhouse. World Government of World Citizens. The World Government of World Citizen is a non-legal, non-person, non-resident, lawful, self-governing body for sentient beings with unenumerated human rights, which legally translates to the UNUDHR to unlimited sovereignty. As such, its territory is the whole planet via a parallel but not overlapping lawful juristic society. The World Government of World Citizens is operated by the World Service Authority, a non-bankrupt, non-legal, unincorporated body of private world citizens outside the United Nations and the person franchise. It seems that recognition for being external without the UN would be provided from the UN, for application in any competent national tribunal globally. The World Government of World Citizen flag uses gold and white sovereign colors and green for neutrality. All UN member countries are bound by the Charter and Personhood Constitution to deny recognition of private world citizens due to such non-person status outside the UN jurisdiction. Attorneys operate UN person franchises and require direct UN evidence of being a non-person. Otherwise, the bankruptcy trust provides them the executorship with power of assumption, in a UN legal military coup. A similar non-recognition has occurred with other sovereign city-states throughout history. Monaco was only moderately recognized by the UN and member nations until they joined the UN. Monaco was required to be bankrupt to join. All the major banks, e.g. Rothschilds, have branches in Monaco, thus making the banks sovereign. Such sovereignty allows the banks to even commit murder and get away with it. Even with perfect legalese non-person documents, most attorney will not respect the legal boundary as being with the private rather than public and legal. Apparently, gaining recognition as a world citizen with a UN member nation requires making an appointment with the UN member nation embassy, typically outside the territory, and having them annex and authenticate the world citizen passport, world citizen identity card, world citizen birth certificate, world citizen driver's license, world citizen automobile title, etc. The World Citizen Authority to exist stems from the ability of persons to leave UN member nations and then be self-governing, and from having unenumerated rights, UN limited sovereignty. World citizens possess their own identities as private property. If we so choose, we may make share it in public as well as a public non-legal identity, as well as a public legal identity. Knowing the differences is up to the world citizen. Making an oath to the World Government of World Citizens is about being present in this moment of now, rather than present of the reflection, not a primary source. The oath and affirmation triggers Title 8 U.S.C. Section 1481 and R.S. Section 1999, click, notes, for immediate relinquishment of U.S. citizenship, legal presence, UN artificial person. Relinquishment is not renouncing. Renouncing is official recognition with a loss of nationality certificate, and surrender of the right to their authority. However, relinquishment officially occurs in the U.S. with a letter to the State Department according to IRS Form 8854 initial and annual expatriation tax forms, providing date of relinquishment of U.S. citizenship. You are considered to have relinquished your U.S. citizenship on the earliest of the following dates. 2. The date you furnished to the State Department a signed statement of your voluntary relinquishment of a U.S. nationality confirming the performance of an expatriating act, provided that the voluntary relinquishment was later confirmed by the issuance of a certificate of loss of nationality. 3. The date the State Department issued a certificate of loss of nationality. World citizenry cannot harm another human being protected by a UN legal presence. The Golden Rule still applies via natural law. The extent of the world citizen city-state sovereignty is the extent that one is willing to overstand it, and according to the United Nations issue titles upon our own rights, property. Simply issuing our own debt outside the UN system makes it both valid and non-recognizable. With the UN, only UN-issued debt was understandable. World citizen birth certificates own our bodies for ourselves. World citizen automobile titles own our cars privately. Speech rights, particularly to debt, are not retracted nor institutionalized via the City of London speech debt money franchise. World citizenry is about being present, making the whole earth a sovereign city-state. The Sovereign Foreign Immunity Act affirmed by Kidane v. Ethiopia applies to world citizens in relation to any and all UN member nations. World citizens cannot sue nor be sued by, with UN competent national tribunals without serious international crimes being committed by the court-like tribunal. That doesn't stop the UN from steamrolling human beings unlawfully. The world government isn't trying to control any aspect of humanity. It exists to enable sentient beings with options of presence in a represented corporate overlay world. We exercise our known rights and express our unenumerated rights. Where necessary, we title our own rights to protect them. The world government of world citizens began because its founder, Gary Davis, Saturday for 6 days and nights at the foot of the UN for recognition. If you have also had it with the corporatism, fascism, political and financial nonsense, begin again with a world government of world citizens birth certificate, passport, and/or ID card. The level of world citizenry and involvement is up to you. If you know that world citizens don't need driver's license, then it is an available option. If it does not feel safe without a UN driver's license, then by all means keep it and use it. There is a time and place for world citizenry, and that is up to you. Conclusion. City-states are not restricted to just the Vatican City, City of London, and DC. The United Nations have taken over the global legal system, and CERN engaged in wildly dangerous science that could write about a holo coursed upon this hologram of unknown proportions. The Vatican uses white and gold, Switzerland, City of London, DC, Monaco, and Singapore all use only white and red, while CERN and the UN use white and blue. The Vatican used gold to declare sovereignty. The nation city-states use red to declare their humanity. And the UN and CERN use blue to prove the commercial backings. The other sovereign city-states have been taken over by the UN as well. The United Nations operates from authority of the Crown Corporation, City of London. And the City of London operates on authority of the Vatican. All of these institutions seem to have been taken over by the Jesuits, Khazarians. The single global control mechanism that the Vatican has chosen seems to be the United Nations, via non-discrimination of slavery after WW2. The world government of world citizens seems to be able to provide some relief and remedy without the UN. It won't stop cops that need to impose the fake authority, but it works in most instances when executed properly in my observation. Related. Sun LHC distorts Earth's magnetic shields and affects the Sun LHC, the fifth city-state, UN the fourth in corruption. United Nations has taken over New York City and corruption. United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the definitive document for human slavery and corruption, posted on the 30th of June 2017 or for Harvalized categories: disclosure, exclusive, history, investigations, leak, legal, money, solutions, tags, Bank for International Settlements, CERN, CERN FCC, City of London, Crown Corporation, DC, Debt, Franchises, Geneva, Human Rights, League of Nations, LHC, Magna Carta, Monaco, Monarchy, Security, Singapore, Slavery, Switzerland, UN Declaration of Human Rights, United Nations. Vatican City, World Government of World Citizens, World Service Authority. Pingback, Nel Sovereign Muchas Ciudades Estado, Ciudad del Vaticano, Ciudad de Londres, DC, La ONU, El CERN, Monaco, Ginebra, Singapore y El Mundo, Servicios Gubernamental Corporation Reloj, Joanan Carl-Aprendiz de l'aprender.wordpress.com. Pingback, the World Government of World Citizens, the Sovereign Earth City-State, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, United Nations claims ownership over American and ISIS legal presences to stop Trump's refugee travel ban, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, issuing our own American national private bonds negotiable instrument, money orders, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, UN member nations surrender birth certificates for UN legal presence franchise, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, In God We Trust best translates into, In the Vatican We Are State, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, Harvey Dent's YouTube channel taken down, legal presence and debt as money franchise licensed from UN, IMF, BIS, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, Florida court rules pointing at policy enforces, threaten death or great bodily harm, while cops actually threaten harm and death daily with total impunity, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, 55 stunning facts about the United Nations, Governmental Services Corporation Watch. Pingback, Los Muchos Estados,